Good morning, everybody. So I will start to talk to you about something which probably doesn't make any relationship with, which is about sustainability and technology. So first, let's start a little bit about what is about sustainability. Everybody is probably familiar with COP21, which has been signed a few years ago in Paris about the climate change, or the Sustainable Development Goals, which has been defined by the United Nations about giving guidance to every country in the world to try to solve 17 Sustainable Development Goals in order for each country to have guidance up to 2030. Everybody is well aware also about the civil society. You know, every of you, each time, every day, you become an activist by the social network, by telling what you like and you don't like. So you're pushing pressure for good food, good life, good housing. So 20 years ago, there were few activists. Today, all of you are one of them. So impact of civil society on the way that we have to do business is becoming extremely important. And in a conference like this one, of course, technology has changed everything on the way we do business, so the disruption by technology. So the fact that we have to go on a world which is more sustainable, a world where we will have to take care of inclusion, is something which is becoming irreversible. In the same room here, there were a few weeks ago a conference called Asia Financial Forum. This is the conferences where everybody talk about growth in Asia for the past 10 years. This year, the name of the conference was Sustainable and Inclusive Growth. So that means even all the people doing business are integrating sustainability and inclusion in the way they do their business. So, the way you do business, what has changed? Before we had a world when we had a lot of big corporates. We were in a world where we have a high globalization. We had a world where the business, the way we do business, were getting shorter and shorter. When you create a company, you don't know when the company will end up. It can be gone very quickly. We've been in a world where we have people intensive. So now it's becoming technology. The business is getting shorter and shorter. The globalization is becoming more and more localized. Look at energy. Energy used to be a global business. Today you make energy in your own home. You make the energy in the rooftop of the company. You create it more local. What about people here like you? Most of you are entrepreneurs. This is very exciting to see the screen moving. So. We have people who are more and more entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are becoming the leaders of the way to do business, and they interact more and more with corporates. Majority of the research of development of the big corporates are now originated by entrepreneurs, because the entrepreneurs are growing. There are more and more people creating startups. So we're going on a business model which is becoming more and more complex. What about business? Energy, mobility, agribusiness, buildings, infrastructure, well-being. All the business are changing. Every single sectors. We used to have in banks sector in order to classify your sectors. We cannot use half of them anymore because all the business have changed. So we need to understand that everything is changing. In energy, everybody is familiar with the energy transition. But energy transition is also taking care of every single sectors. Look at mobility, or what change we have. Look at agribusiness today, what's going on with the agroforestry, with the agroecology, which is developing. Now we have drones, which are looking at what the farmers are doing. We are using in the technology for farming the satellite in order to define where the people are doing deforestation. What about buildings, smart cities? What about the well-being, healthcare, aging? A lot of new things happening. So you can see that all sectors has been impacted by technology, which brings new opportunity in waste, opportunity on the way we maintain biodiversity. Same thing, circular economy. How many opportunities you can have there? Smart cities. Inclusion is very important. We are not making cities only for rich people. If we don't solve poverty of the farmers, we will never solve the problem of deforestation. Integrating everything in local economies is also extremely important. So all this is creating for you guys who are in the startup business a lot of opportunities working with the public sector, but also with the corporates. So, other business you have there. This is been by Better Business, Better World. This is mandated by 40 people in the world, which are the most big businessmen, including Jack Ma. They identify on climate change 12 trillion in the world of business opportunity in every sectors that I described before. 12 trillion, out of which 5 trillion in Asia itself, of new business. We're talking about almost 400 million of new jobs from now to 2030. Because we have to manage the disruption, because technology will bring new solutions. In every sector, you can get the detail. Type Better Business, Better World on internet, you will see the report. 122 pages, which can give you ideas in 60 sectors. This is the sectors. You can see mobility, healthcare, efficiency, everywhere. You can find new jobs, new opportunity. So technology is bringing new opportunity to solve climate change. It's not a doom, it's not a danger, it's an opportunity for your business. What about the enablers to go further? We need to go further thinking. We don't have to think about the past, we need to think about ahead, what's going on, and for that we need to do scenarios. Green and technology, it's important for banks. We need data. We need expertise. We need to measure the impact of CO2, the impact of clear water, the impact of deforestation to do our business now. Because we need to include environmental and social aspect in the way we do business. So for that, we need data. For data and to understand and expertise, we need to work with academics. So we need to do partnership. It's collaborative. So partnership with banks and academics, university, with the public world. We have an MOU with UNEP, who come one day that the bank will make an arrangement and a partnership with the United Nations in order to develop business. But we need also a lot of social entrepreneurs and startups who come with disruptive ideas. We need also people who can develop data. We need data to understand, we need data to control, we need data to follow up. We need also to involve our staff. Nobody will join a bank like BNP Paribas if we are not environmental conscious and social conscious, because we cannot do environmental without social. But the people today, the young millennials, what they do, they take also. So we need to join the two. So that's the way we can make technology and finance are the two main drivers in order to solve climate change, environmental and social problems. So what about you? So when you are in a startup, why a bank will need you in order to provide? We need to measure the impact. So we need to concern data, we need to find data, and we need to measure the impact of water quality, pollution, deforestation. We need traceability. When we do trade finance and we finance goods from one place, we need to know where it's coming from. The consumer now in the supermarket wants to know where it's coming from. Us, when we finance that, we need to be able to provide the information. So we need traceability of the goods that we finance in trade finance. We need credibility. What we say, what we prove, we need to prove it. We need transparency. We need to explain everything clear. So for that, we need data. We need to explain also the ESG to our clients. So the report that we have, more or less, is we need to understand each client how far they are in the ESG. A report of ESG is 660 pages. We have nobody to write that. So we need a fintech to explain and extract the data in order to summarize all this information for our salespeople to go to talk to the client. Risk management, systemic risk about climate change. How many data we need to manage to that? Very complex. Reportings to clients, reportings to regulators about climate change, about quality of water, about social issue, carbon trading. Can you imagine that we can have a physical machine or physical sonder who can be everywhere to collect the pollution in the world? We need to transform that in financial data. Who will do that? We have no money to do that. We have no resources. Scenario forecasting. We need people to set up forecasts. Sectorial expertise data. We have people from satellite. We measure the size by the shadow of the reserve in the oil petrol. So they do that by satellite. We have satellites which are controlling the deforestation in Brazil, Amazon. So we need this information in order to make the right decision, etc., etc. I can give you a list like that forever. But we need all this information very quickly, because that's the way we will solve the integration of the environmental and social into the business. So what's in finance the change we have? First of all, capital markets. So capital markets, the banks will finance less and less directly with the balance sheet because the cost of capital is too expensive. So we will develop more and more capital markets. Trade finance, I explained to you the traceability that we need to link to the trade finance. What is very important, we are developing more and more the green and VC and entrepreneurs. So we are creating fund to fund them. If you go to the bank and you're an entrepreneur and you ask a loan, the person will tell you, we cannot give you money, we don't know anything about you, etc., etc. So another way to fund is to create fund for venture capital, for startups, for entrepreneurs, and then by putting a pool of entrepreneurs, we can start to manage that. So we find different financing way in order to finance the people who will be the disruptor and who will create the world of tomorrow. Leasing. Leasing was the poor business in finance because too expensive. Now it's becoming the star. Why? Because when you do leasing, you own the goods. When you're owning the goods, you can organize the recycling. So recycling is very important. So because the leasing, we will redevelop leasing business because we can recycle more. It's really the business for financing the circular economy. Personal finance, more and more, because it's making more and more local, there will be also more and more people to finance locally. Your e-vehicle, your EV vehicle, your panel, your storage, your connectivity tools, etc. This is good for banking because we can spread our risk. So more people, more risk. So better risk to manage. We like that. What about all the sustainable investment solution? I explained to you about what we do. We explained to you what we do for the entrepreneurs. But we have also other examples, like we stop financing tobacco, for instance, in one side. But in the other side, we create a fund in order to finance the small farmers who will change from tobacco to something else. And so we create transition fund, new type of financing. So the way we finance the business, the way we adapt to financing the business is toward financing more and more the smallholders, the startups, the entrepreneurs, because we have to make the change at that level in order to finance the change we would like to do in terms of environmental and social business. So what is changing? First of all, we are in a world which is more and more in collaboration. So we have to collaborate. We do business with United Nations, we do business with NGOs, we do business with academics, we do business with startups, we do business with fintech. We are creating new financing scheme. I give you some example with the fund, for instance, with the leasing, etc. We need to be future thinkers. We need to think ahead, not in the past. The bank, the financial people, they don't like uncertainty, so they look at the past. But today you cannot look at the past. The past is gone. The past is obsolete. So we need to look forward. This is more complicated. We need to measure the impact. The financial measurement, the risk return, is not enough anymore. It's risk return plus measurement of impact you have on climate change, on CO2, on pollution, on water, on social. it's measuring the risk. The risk is different. The way we do business is not linear anymore. When we are in banking, we stop financing coal and we finance renewable. So that means we make exclusion. We stop and we relaunch something new. That's creating new risk. That's creating different risk. The risk of exit can be as big as the risk of investing. The risk of disinvesting is probably, if you do it on the wrong time, can be very costly. But investing in the new things can be also very costly. So we double the way we manage our risk. Finally, transparency is very important. We cannot do anything with black box. So we need to be explained, we need to be able to explain everything. Why? Because you guys, you're the civil society. You are also the investor and the civil society at the same time. So if you don't understand something, you will tell everybody very quickly, anonymously, through the social network. So, capital allocation. We can only allocate capital when we do good purpose. This is what is changing. It's not the industry of financing which is changing. It's the good purpose, it's the way we allocate capital for the right things. Digital and data is at the center of what we do. If we don't have digital, if we don't have data, we will be unable to achieve that. Same for partnership. We cannot do that alone. It's too complex. So we need help. So this is to give an example of how sustainability can influence the business. So we're creating new product of financing, new product of investment. We need a lot of expertise, and we need to manage carbon. Carbon management is a failure so far in the business because the public didn't manage and the country didn't manage to agree. But we are building OTC products, so we are building private ways to do it. That's what we used to do in the past anyway by building up derivatives. So, what the company engagement we do have, we at BNP, we are following the SDG, so we want to measure the SDG. 15%, the minimum of 15% of our capital use is invested in SDG goals, at least. We are very focused on climate change and biodiversity. We focus on future generation. We are supporting entrepreneurs, and we are more and more involved in the local system when we operate. Things that happen today, so we have policies in order to invest and disinvest in what we want to do. We create a lot of partnership with different associations. It goes through UNEP up to Bill Gates Foundation or universities. We do have 155 billion invested so far in the 17 SDG. This is what we have in our balance sheet. This is not including what we do all with our clients. So it's for us, the next way to go is to try to tie up more and more with fintech who can provide us data in order to include more and more the environmental and social aspect on the way that we do business with our client, because they need transparency, because we need to measure the impact of those environmental and social objectives. So this is mainly what I have to tell you today. And I do hope that you believe now that banking system is in the middle of providing business to all the data people and the startup. Thank you for your attention. Thanks.